Hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone, to Play On. My name is Candace Barritt.
I'm Rob Mackay.
And this is Pearcey. What a weekend of rugby we've had. I know for us it's cricket season, but what a weekend of rugby.
I really enjoyed it. It was a good mix.
I did too, and I know the Wallabies lost, but they played a good style of footy. I loved whipping Harry Potter home. He was knackered, wasn't he?
What an effort, though.
Well, he ran like 100 meters.
But that was straight after sort of doing the reverse in D. His effort areas, if you're a coach, you just want 15 of that. I think a few people were wondering why he got selected over some of the other wingers. That was why.
Yeah, efforts
and
quick. Like the guys that were chasing him, they're rapid and they didn't make any.
And he was gassed, and he still got there, and he made good decisions. And he knows.
And then he got back up and carried on.
Knows English conditions. So, yeah, he was probably our best player, I would have thought.
And your only try?
Your only try. So we've flipped out of Australia, have we, Candace? We've gone white, have we? Okay.
I would have thought they would have been your third choice, Candace. I thought Canada first, Australia second, England third. But clearly not.
Yes.
True colours.
Yeah, true lack of colours now showing. Yes, indeed. Okay. Noted.
No, we're just talking about beforehand. I don't want to dwell on it too much, but there is a continuum of grandstanding showing your flair and carrying on like a pillock, which I have now christened the replacement back rower, Henry Pillock, because he took it too far. I didn't like that about the English team, and from time to time they go there. But look, to the victor, the spoils.
Yes, the winners write the script, don't they? Sadly. And it was probably the worst Wallaby performance of the year.
And there was parts of that game that were truly fantastic to watch. I know we've got this in the agenda for later on. The melees, I didn't like that. That's not what rugby's about, and we don't need that. I don't know whether it was well managed.
When you say melee, do you mean like the fight? Is that what you mean? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't like that.
It's also like the final whistle, and there's, a lot of it. And sometimes how I feel is that when people see that on the big screen, it does trickle down to lower levels in community. And so if it doesn't get managed correctly or well, then people think it's okay.
Yeah. And it was strange too at the end of the game. The game's well won. I didn't get the impression the Wallabies started. Look, they might have. Who knows what happened in the dark corridors of that pylon over the line. So we'll never really know, but hopefully they all got together afterwards and had a quiet drink and put it behind them and moved on.
I have a sneaking suspicion they didn't, though.
Yeah.
And that I think therein lies the problem at that international level. I presume the Wallabies packed up and moved on to their next base camp for next week's game, rather than engaging in the social niceties which would bring that little bit of spirit of rugby back.
Well, it's interesting. Most tests this year we've seen post-match stuff where the teams are together. I haven't seen any of that from this match, and I don't know who's driving that. I would have thought the host nation might be the one that goes, all right, we're putting on a do for you afterwards, come along, but I haven't seen any of that. So it may have happened, but it may not have.
And we need more of that, which will mean that we see less of the Genge v. Alatoa head-to-head. Like those guys should be having a beer together, not yelling at each other.
Yeah, it was interesting though. We didn't have any of that until Genge came on, but it could just be me reading the situation. Yeah. But he does have form.
Yeah, he's got form.
Yeah,
Pillock's got form.
Yeah.
Pollock.
Triple A's not a known agitator.
No. He's a bit of a doer rather than a talker.
Yeah, he's your quiet Pacifica type. Just gets on and does stuff.
Yeah, as opposed to Lucan, who does love a little bit of the niggle, and he was right in the thick of it. So Aussies, put your hand up. There's a bit of that we got to own as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Two to tango usually. There'll be some discussions, I'm sure.
Yeah. What is your thoughts on Soldiers Field?
Is that the Chicago one? It was amazing. I loved how at one point they did a big overhead look at the stadium and all the people, super packed. It was a good mix, I think, and I love the energy.
I love the energy too. And Chicago, I think I'm right in this. I haven't done any research. This is me shooting from the hip. Third biggest city in the US behind New York and LA, but little bit like Melbourne in that they love their sport more than anything else. Like Melbourne's, I think it's now the most popular city in Australia, but they do sport better than anywhere else in Melbourne. And I think they do sport better than anywhere else in Chicago as well. And
they looked like they were great hosts.
The crowd was going off.
Yeah, it's a pity the rugby wasn't top shelf. It was a very clunky game. It
really was. But when New Zealand lose their captain really early, Did they cut to a shot that showed? I think he got a significant gash on his knee. Is that what happened?
They didn't really tell us.
Is that both of the brothers?
Because Scott Barrett was
Yeah.
on the ground early. I think it was 7 minutes in. Was on the ground, and they didn't show footage of it. But the ref blew time.
Yeah.
In live play.
Yeah.
He's obviously seen something
Yeah.
he didn't want to see. They've covered it up and taped on a big bandage.
Yeah.
And he didn't return to the field.
No.
And the look on his face, there's a little bit of shell shock on there.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, that's a deep cut. I think I'm joining the dots there.
Yeah, I don't know. That I couldn't see anything either, but it was very early. It was a really bad day for the Barrett brothers.
Because Beauden got a head knock, and I think he was rattled on the first one, and he got 2 more head knocks.
Yeah, and I can't believe that didn't trigger the IMGs. I'm really surprised.
The first one, it was a red card, and it didn't feel. I know Justin Marshall was saying it didn't feel like a red card. I think it was. The Irish guy, there was no intent there, but gosh, he got him.
So starting point, it's direct contact to the head. Therefore, think of your process.
A little tree, yeah.
It's a red card, and tell me what the mitigation is. Well, he didn't wrap. He was always vertical. It was direct to the head.
A giraffe standing vertical.
Yeah,
That's all.
And no, he didn't dip.
He made no.
It wasn't passive.
The effort. Yeah.
It certainly wasn't a passive tackle.
I think for me, he just stood his ground, so that is passive.
But he stepped in as well, right?
But he did lean the shoulder into it.
Yeah.
I think the confusion lay in the fact that the pass was absolutely flat, like borderline forward. He thought the guy had overrun it and didn't expect him to get the ball, and then had to change his opinion on it.
Yeah, and maybe a bit unlucky,
Yeah.
but that's the risk you take with playing that sort of in-your-face D.
Yeah, and the Kiwi halfback, he loves passing in the line. He does a really good job of it.
But this goes back to our commentary previously. The passing from the breakdown at the moment is incredibly flat because we're trying to break down defences by going through little gaps or shooting out wide and beating the D and getting outside the rush defence.
And goodness me, doesn't Royden make a referee's job miserable? The positioning in that game, trying to work around him, he was completely unpredictable.
Yeah.
And that's why he's, I think, one of the best nines in the world, probably second behind our French friend. I think he's
now extended his signing, if you saw that.
No, I missed that. Okay, very good.
He's signed till 2031.
With Toulouse. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, well, I guess there's nothing to lose there. So
Wait, just back on the red card, I was just thinking, I feel as though maybe the player, I guess his attitude towards it and after I wonder if the sanction will be the same or
his response in the naughty chair was not what we want to see. But we saw a couple of poor responses, like Henry Pillick's sin bin, just remonstrating on his way to the sin bin. I really don't like that. Just take your medicine, go sit down in the chair, and if it's a red card.
I did see his reaction on the chair, actually.
I think the other thing about the red that we haven't talked about is Bodie's actually a very upright runner as well. If you look at his running style, it's very vertical. It's unconventional. It's very effective, but he's got a very vertical body and his legs are sort of moving. So his body's actually very, very static.
And I think that's accentuated because he almost had to lean back to catch the pass.
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of factors. Interestingly enough, I haven't seen anything from World Rugby about discipline yet. So I don't know where that's gone. I would expect no later than today we'd see something about that because
I don't think we'll see anything about it. The Irish tend to get a free swing at these things. There's a political statement.
Yeah. Lead with your chin there, Pearcey.
Yep.
But they've still got to make a statement whether the red card was enough.
I think the statement will be they don't make a statement, and that in itself is a statement.
I'm sure that will be debated for a little while. But, the ground itself was interesting. It wasn't in great shape. It was very patchy, the grass.
No, and I couldn't see a couple
NFL,
of the lines.
Probably.
Well, it's a small ground.
I couldn't see the 22.
It's short. It's narrow. It had a lot of NFL markings on it still. It's a bit like when we referee at a rugby league ground.
Well, the Bears are playing there next week. Like they played there last week, they're playing there next week.
Yeah, so
Chicago Bears.
There's some compromises, and it's difficult for the MOs. Again, like when we have a rugby league ground that shares with rugby union, you got your 10, your 20, your 22, your 30. So your taken back is nightmarish for that 20 and that 22. And I think they probably had a little bit of difficulty with that as well.
That would have been fun as a match official, just doing a warm up and then just let's run around the pitch a little bit to
see what we see,
out.
right?
Yeah.
But they also had some trouble with the red card or the yellow card. The team O's.
Yes.
The screens weren't working at the ground, so we had this really clunky the first 15 minutes took like an hour because we had two major injuries. We had both Barrett brothers go off. We had the TMO referral, no screen. So they eventually ended up
to run back to the soccer VMO.
Well, yeah, it was
the
that
screen
style.
in the middle.
It was the match day doctor's screen, the HIA screen. So they're under a little 10 on halfway with a screen like this. So they're all peering and going, oh, well, what do you see?
I did like there was a little bit of commentary where they threw the directors under the bus.
Well, yeah.
I can't bring it up on the screen. They're not ready yet.
Yeah, and fair enough too. That would have been frustrating. Like, you got one job.
Yeah, I think someone might have lost their job on that one.
Yeah. So,
have we got the relay from the broadcast box onto the big screen in the ground? Oh, damn it! I forgot.
Oh, that relay. Oh,
I thought they were going to behave themselves on this great occasion.
Oh dear. So so there was a bit going on, and then the game really didn't get any rhythm to the last about 15 minutes when the All Blacks. I think Artie Sabir must have gone behind after a drinks break and said, "Righto, stop mucking around."
Yeah.
Bang.
Let's go.
Isn't he in rare form? Just so good to watch.
Follow me.
I was watching him there for a series of phases for about 10 minutes, and he's the way he just hunts the defensive line for. I'm going to stand here because that's where they're attacking. I'm going to win that ball. I'm going to stand here and that's where they're attacking. And then they win the ball back, and he's carrying every second phase.
Predator. He just strikes me as predator, alpha predator on that field. So you can't take your
so strong.
You can
so
see
quick.
some of the Irish guys trying to give him some niggle, and he looks at them,
bounces it off,
and laughs, and then goes and whacks someone else.
Yeah. There's a lot to like about watching him play, isn't there? As long as he's not playing us.
Yeah.
Don't run into us.
There's no carry on with him. I love the fact he just gets on with the job. I love that. Let's celebrate that. He's a terrific role model.
Except that match where he, did the throat slitting. That was
so. I remember us talking about that. It was so out of character for him because he just doesn't do it.
It was anomalous, wasn't it? So, Candace, did you want to talk about Pierre at all, or did you have any other thoughts on the All Blacks game?
I was going to mention Pierre because I loved his take back on making sure the 10 took the mark at the correct spot and not taking those extra steps for kicking into touch. I just loved the sass around it as well, and the management. And then also the other team is just like, hey, like, what? How is he allowed to do that? They're like, no.
No.
This is a warning.
I give him warning. Yeah, I know, right? So they're very particular. Housekeeping, I don't mind. Good housekeeping.
I love it. Some of the kickers have been absolutely taking the piss with that.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like touch, when you touch someone and they take like 5 extra big steps forward and you're just like, what? I think that's my take on that. Like, no, it's here, take it here or before that.
That is the most contentious thing that we have in our touch games each week. Off the mark! Come back! Oh my goodness, it causes so much angst.
I love that little bit.
I think we should celebrate how dapper some of the French referees over the years have been. They truly bring the dapper to refereeing.
Pierre's living it up.
Yeah, I think Pierre's got a genuine style of his own, and I don't mind it. There's some character to it, so...
Yeah. No, agreed, 100%.
Yeah.
Love the authenticity.
Yeah.
We always want that with referees.
And he seems able to stay in the game for the full 80, which a lot of our French referees can't. They do struggle with that.
Is that a fitness related thing?
No, I think it's just an erratic nature. And I think we see it with their teams too. Their teams are erratic. Serge Blanco, rocks and diamonds. Absolute rocks and diamonds. He was capable of the best football we've ever seen. And in the same game, he'll do something completely stupid.
I reckon that amplitude's come down a lot now because I think the top 14's lifted the standard of French rugby, and I think we're seeing more consistency from the French.
I think the French people in general have that, though. If you recall back in Bernard Foley getting done for time-wasting kicking to touch, said then, and I've always said that late in a game under pressure, a French referee will make an erratic call under pressure. I think with Pierre, we saw he handled the pressure pretty well.
I did laugh. I think it was the 80th minute. He decided to have a chat to the front rows. And, the scrum had been a problem all game. We had lots of free kicks, lots of penalties. We didn't have a lot of scrums. Maybe you could have the chat a bit earlier.
Just bite the tongue on that one or do it earlier.
If you're going to do it when you're going to get some pay from it.
That horse has bolted, my friend.
Yes, absolutely. The horse is in Indiana.
Exactly.
So, there was that test. Done and dusted.
Do we want to talk about Beauden Barrett's mark or should we move on?
Oh, yes, Bodie's mark. Very good point, Candace.
It's quite funny live watching it because you have to say mark, but it didn't look like he said it. And then he sort of stepped out, realized, and then he put his arm out, and I was like, ooh, how are they going to deal with this?
I think the lip readers of the world who watch rugby, and that's obviously a big subset, they were going, because I don't think he said a peep. And I think he got out of jail there big time. That was probably one of the things that went well for the Barretts on the day.
There's a bit of the vibe. There's a little bit of vibe about that.
And he's just looking up. Yep. And I love how they played it in slow-mo on the big screen as well.
Even the Kiwi commentators were saying, don't think he said anything there. And the narrow field probably caught him out a little bit as well, I suspect, and the lines and the patchwork, because the patchwork grass wouldn't have helped with the lines either. But yes, that was probably an overly empathetic decisions, particularly given Pierre likes his housekeeping. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, hypothetically, if he were not to call the mark, would it just be a line out, basically? That's what would have happened, because he just took it out. And it's not
line out throw to Ireland.
Yeah, there you go.
Got away with that one, I think.
Yeah, he had worn some head knocks. Maybe we were a little bit gentle on him.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he plays this week, hey? If he comes up.
Oh, he will.
He comes up in training. So, like one of the other games, Rugby League, who had a shocking...
that was horrible. One of the Tongan players, plays for the Storm, second rower, got a bad head knock in the warm-up, a really bad one. And there's footage of that. He shouldn't have played.
100%.
He then got another head knock off one of the back fence kickoff runs, and then got a third head knock, and then after the game had some seizures on the sideline, and it's a really bad look.
He's had surgery.
That's awful.
They had to have surgery to
release the pressure in the brain.
Yeah, and this is why we have concussion protocols, in case anyone has missed why.
I wonder when or if Rugby League is going to come on board with that, because we really, I applaud rugby for taking that brave move a couple of years ago, and it's starting to pay dividends.
Well, and we've seen another player come out with MND this week, a 2003 World Cup winner from England, which is sad.
Mm-hmm.
But, Rugby League, the evidence just keeps building. If you're the lawyer building the case, you're clipping those three things and everything that goes with it. It's like Exhibit A, Exhibit B. There's just so much of it. We sometimes get concerned about our concussion protocols, and we've still got some work to do. Got to wonder,
Eli Katoa,
how did Beauden's IMG not go off? Was it faulty? Was the reader not working, or was it just one of those ones where it was just below the threshold each time? So I'd certainly be keeping an eye on him during the week, because as to your point, Pearcey, he certainly looked rattled, and that's a sign for me.
The body language for me, it said, how the hell has this happened again, rather than rattled? I don't think any of them hit the threshold, but I wonder whether the subsequent ones, the threshold needs to drop.
It's an interesting...
Not a doctor, but
you're
having a bad day, it might be time to, on that... that second one, I thought, ooh, Bodie, just...
And you're also more likely
to
get
precious to us.
Another one as well. And you don't know what the prerequisites are as well. You don't know what type of contact sessions they've had leading up during the week.
Bodie, you are an absolute joy to watch, even when you're wearing the black jerseys. I would hate to see any damage done there.
Do you want to move on to maybe go reverse way and talk about any rugby news that we've done ourselves in the past week?
I want to hear about you going to the wrong ground.
Oh yeah, we should talk about this. Yeah.
This is quite embarrassing.
It's pretty funny.
So, Candace, have you got some embarrassing news you need to share with us?
I do. So I initially thought I was going to go to a sevens tournament in Rats Park, but it got postponed. So I offered myself for another tournament and was told, it was at Baronia Park.
Which Baronia Park?
Exactly. I thought there was just one. So I just typed in with the one that was closest to me and said I was free. I turned up to the park. Very strange. There was kids cricket going on. There was what's the paddle tennis thing everyone's crazy about? Pickleball. And I was just like, this does not look like a Pacifica tournament that's meant to be going on today. I called our wonderful appointments officer, Kim, who runs the schedule and everything. And I was like, Kim, I don't even know where I am. I've been wandering around this park. She's like, Candace, you're meant to be in Penrith. And I wasn't very much
pronounced that incorrectly. Penrith.
There goes our Western Sydney audience.
So, you can clearly tell I have no idea.
So what did you do? Jump in an Uber and scramble out there
Oh
for the
no,
second half?
the distance between where I was and where I needed to be would have been like at least another 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was meant to do like a 9 a.m. kickoff. And I was there wandering around from like,
So I had to laugh because I was
8 in the morning.
I was on the other end
Yeah.
of this conversation with because I was going to the same tournament, but I was later in the day. So I'd seen Candace was there for the first block. I was there for the second block. I thought, don't think we can make this work because she doesn't want to hang around all day, and I don't want to go out there 4 hours earlier. The reason I'm doing the afternoon is because I couldn't do the morning. So that wasn't going to work, but we're having a bit of chat with the guys that were out there. And I said, look, how's it going? And they said, well, look, it's a Pacifica tournament. The first match started half an hour late, and we're still playing catch up. Now we're down a ref, ... And then, we've gone from two fields to one. I went, okay. So I'm trying to work out, well, when do I arrive? So I drive out there and I allow a bit of time for everything running late. And I get there and I look at it and go, oh, hang on, it looks like my next match is on 15 minutes. Holy moly, I better get organised. I'm just about to get ready. And the previous referee comes up and says, good to see you. How you going? And I said, I'm just about to run on this one. He said, no, you're not. What do you mean? He said,
what?
I haven't been on yet. And I went, So we did all this juggling around. The last two refs, we ended up sharing 3 halves each. So it was okay, Candace. You saved yourself a lot of Uber money. It was 4 seasons in one day out there.
It would have been like $150. I was so confused where I was.
Don't do it.
And I've just consulted the Oracle. There are 9 Baronia parks in Sydney.
Well, Baronia is
turns out it's a plant or a tree.
It's a little.
That's so confusing.
If I remember correctly, little purple flowered shrubs. So they're everywhere. They're beautiful.
Can we start naming them something else, please?
Baronia 1, Baronia 2, Baronia 3.
Yeah, I would love that, actually.
Which is not helpful because Baronia Park in Hunters Hill has 3 fields, and that's what they're called.
Which is where I was.
Yes, indeed. So it was actually a good day. As I said, 4 seasons in one day, quite muddy in areas. I'm still finding mud. It was essentially a celebration of Pacifica rugby with a Samoan bent. So the final ended up being Victoria Samoa against New South Wales Samoa.
Sick.
Women's. And
so awesome.
Victoria Samoa were actually pretty good, as in they won quite easily in the end. It was level up at halftime. And I knew some of the New South Wales girls because I'd refereed them in Prem this year. So I had some familiarity with them. So hello to Mercy and T. And then we had Ian and Yvonne, who are the captains of the Victorian team. But at the end, I came off the field, and I'd said earlier in the day that, 10 from Victoria is pretty handy, and the 12 from here is pretty handy. Anyway, we're doing all the post-match, and it turned out 7 of the girls had come straight from the Samoan World Cup squad.
Yeah, about to say.
So
I love how you can pinpoint the players just by refereeing and being around them. You're like, oh, yep, you're special. Yeah, you know what you're doing.
Well, it was really interesting too, watching the pool game. So Victoria cruised through their last pool game that I saw without too much trouble. Get to the final, and it's, as I said, the scores are level at halftime. The intensity's gone right up, and high tackles, offside, breakdown, discipline. They're just so.
They had that in the World Cup, to be honest.
Yeah,
so
but it's just about we'll do anything we have to. So getting behavioural change is a real challenge, and eventually Victoria adjusted enough that they broke away in the second half, and their good players stepped up. But it was a challenging game, but it was good to be out there. The dancing together of the teams afterwards. All the speeches.
I love that. Some music.
Yeah, it was lovely. We hung around for the speeches, got a box of chocolates and a bottle of red. So,
yum.
Yeah, there you go. Then
Saturday night sorted.
Well, I got home after dark.
Well played, bro.
So,
well
still
done.
in my kit. So I was ready for a pizza and a Pinot and a shower. But yeah, it was a good day. Good day.
It's not a bad effort. I think my best effort on a sevens tournament was to get home on a Tuesday. But
no, this is 15.
After dark's good. 15, yeah, nice.
Yeah, they had 25 minutes each way.
No, well, the final was 35 each way.
Oh, 35.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So,
wow.
It's
a lot of footy.
Yeah. It was a lot of footy in the end. Yeah, it really was a big day of footy. And, shout out to Jason and his team and all the people who travelled from interstate. The Melbourne girls drove up. They carpooled and drove up and billeted and old school. So
nice.
It was nice. I just hope they can continue building their community and get funding and go to the next level because there's some really talented players there.
Well done, ladies.
Also want to highlight that Rugby Australia had their level 2 match official developer course
And this has
over the
been a long
past
time
weekend.
coming. I know they've been trying to roll this out for some time.
My goodness.
I had a lot of people in the room message me that some of the content was pretty shabby promotional photos in there. I got about, I think it was 8 different texts saying, geez, you've made it when you're the face of modding in the PowerPoint slides. And I thought they could have done better.
You're in there. You have a bucket hat and you're just explaining something.
Yeah.
He's got his giggle hat on and it's a rear 3/4 view. So it's obviously your best side.
It's my best angle, yeah.
I feel like that was definitely at a sevens tournament. I saw.
No, that was 18s. 18s June long weekend.
Yeah, where was it? I couldn't.
Concord.
Was that? Oh, I know.
St. Luke.
Yeah, right.
St.
I know
Luke's.
where it was now.
Love that look.
I might have been there for that one, but there you go.
You were.
Yeah.
You were there that day.
Yeah, with a giggle hat on. Nice. So, yeah, look, it was good to get the course
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, as you say, Pearcey, long time coming. I've been trying to do level 2 mod for probably 3 years, and it just hasn't worked out. So to finally get it done. Having said that, the course has changed. It used to be a whole weekend, immersion for 2 days.
But it needs to change too, and I really celebrate the way they're doing it, saying it's not really a pathway course. It's just to develop yourself, and if you've done it before, come along. If you've done it 3 times, come along. They're trying to keep it relevant regardless of where you're at, and that's I think a really good way of delivering it.
Yeah, it was a lot different from level 1, and I think they definitely updated it. Lots of little stand-up, breakout little scenarios as well, which keeps you interested rather than sat down the entire time.
Well, it's not a technical course in the rugby sense.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a holistic, know your athlete.
What's your philosophy?
Yeah.
Here's a little bit of controversy. I think the best mods don't do technical coaching. I think the best mods coach the person to be at their best, and you let the athlete get the technical part right.
Pearcey, I agree 100% because the top 2 inches is the bit that separates community from elite, and that's the hardest bit to coach.
These top 2.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So at this level and above, that's the space you've got to be managing. You're a metre off the mark. Yeah, okay, but big picture, you get the big picture right, that takes care of itself to your point, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And the more we move towards coaching like athletes, coaches coach, rather than after the match saying, I thought you did this, and this wrong.
Which is really interesting because the coaching course really just tried to show that there's an old school way of coaching, which they're trying to get
away from.
Yeah. And then there's like a new modern day way of coaching. And then for you to just think about, again, who your athlete is. We have lots of junior referees. There's a way of approaching them, trying to get information out of them, letting them speak versus an adult. Adults want to know the why behind things as well. So yeah, it was really interesting seeing the different coaches already in the room explain that they deal with lots of junior athletes and hearing their struggles versus maybe, other people have just dealt with adults as well.
Can we ban a clipboard?
Is it the ones, I have like a special little foldy one.
I do like a clipboard because there's nothing worse than a windy ground and you want to write something down. So, but I take your point, Pearcey. Yeah.
It's so old fashioned writing. Who writes anymore?
Well, I do mix, like I'll either have it like the paper's there, but if it's rainy, what am I going to do, right? Like I either have to go
voice recorder
on my phone. Yeah. I've done that as well, like a mix of stuff. If I've been like, oh, I'm going to stand here, do this, and then like I'll walk around more and do something else.
I always used to love the old fashioned, and in can we add a layer? In New South Wales country, it used to be a clipboard with a fashion piece statement hat, and you have to stand on the opposite side of the field so everyone could see you assessing the referee.
And
it was just mind-numbingly stupid.
Yeah, with like a little headpiece.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
And
I think it's an interesting point, Pearcey. I know why you're going there because I get the point, right? It's not about assessing, it's about coaching, which is an incredibly valid point. But also, we're all going to do it differently. And I think that's also a good thing.
Yeah.
So we've got to find our own way of managing that process. Some people like to be in the thick of it. Some people like to stand behind the goalpost. Some people like to be in a helicopter. Some people like to do voice recording as they go along. One of the guys, he's an IT guy. He's got this incredibly elaborate setup that every time he moves or functions, it gets captured somewhere, and then it goes into all these buckets that he then, sorts and piles and color coordinates, and that works for him. But other people go,
Yeah.
your vibe was bad today. Fix it.
Yeah, sort your shit out.
Yeah. So, and the continuum. So, just be authentic, be yourself as a coach, find your space, work out what works for you.
Because we talk about know your athlete or athlete.
Yeah.
Know yourself too. What do you bring? Have a conversation and try and marry the best of that.
Some scheduling maybe. So we talked about this last week, and I've got to put my hand up. You're quite right, Candace, and I was 100% wrong. The Prem is on a break, and they're not back.
Yeah, they have quite a long time.
Well,
they have at least a month.
Yeah, they do. Then they're off for 2 weeks again. So they come back for 1 week, and then they're off for 2 weeks for European Cup.
Yeah, this is why I've always struggled with their calendar.
It's got.
We spoke about this earlier, that the calendar is incredibly disjointed.
If you're not an elite player, and when I say elite, they're all elite, but if you're playing club only and your team is not in European matches, you could be not playing for 6 weeks.
Wah, wah, wah.
Not playing tests, obviously. So,
but for those guys, there would be opportunities back at their clubland below that to keep their footy up. So it's not all lost.
But is there, Pearcey? I don't know.
Yes, there is. Yes,
are they allowed to drop down into community?
I think there's only
if
a certain number.
If the coach assesses they need game time, there would be avenues for game time for sure.
Yeah, I'd be really interested in that. So it must be hard.
From like a woman's point of view, I think it depends on like how many games you've done and like the timing. There's a few scenarios, and like
some of those ones
has
you're
to
just
be
speaking
responsible.
about, they need game time. There's nothing like
absolutely
thrown in games. So to throw them downwards rather than upwards, that's one way of achieving that. We're talking there about possibly some of the development players who haven't had a lot of game time, as opposed to the veterans who they will be managing the
load. Yeah, the test players.
Yeah.
So if you're a test player, it's the other way around. You've come straight out of tests, back into club, back into Champions Cup, back into club. It just keeps going, right? So they've got to be managed, and the other ones need more game time. So
and we see that in all sports. I just heard this morning Travis Head's going back to Shield cricket rather than and then 50 over game.
Yeah, probably not a bad
just get
thing
some game time
with some Ashes coming. So
yeah.
But look, I thought it was really interesting. That I don't know how they fix it, because the Challenge Cup and the European Cups are a wonderful part of European rugby. It's, I think, a really important part of the game, bringing everyone together. So tricky.
Yeah, it's a real challenge, because the Prem brings the money, pays the foundation for the players. International footy is what we all want to see.
But Challenge and European Cup brings money as well, right? So, and you got to build your squad round. If you know you're in Europe and club, you've got to manage your squad completely differently to if you just got club all year. So challenge for the coaching staff as well. But that leads me to European Cup, which kicks off in the first week of December. But guess where the finals are?
Oh,
Vegas.
This is another location thing. Oh, that'd be sick.
Thanks, Man of Feathers.
Is it somewhere in Europe?
Yes, Bay of Biscay.
I was going to say it's in Spain. Where's that?
It is in Spain. It's in
Oh my goodness.
Bilbao. Wow.
That was a random guess.
Bilbao. Wow.
So apparently they play a bit of footy there over the years. So they're almost sold out on their tickets.
My geography's letting me down. That's up near the French border, isn't it?
Oui. Si. Hi. Yeah.
Yeah. So
call it what you want.
Yeah, the south of France and Spain.
What do they call themselves?
Close.
They don't call themselves French or Spanish. They call themselves Basques.
Yeah.
They are very fond of rugby there.
Yeah, Basque country, just across from some of the well-known French teams. So you've got up the road, you got Pau, you've got Bordeaux. Yeah, it's Bayonne. Toulouse isn't a million miles away. So yeah, look, it could be a harbinger of a Southern Europe World Cup that we eventually get, because I reckon a World Cup around the Bay of Biscay and around the Mediterranean. Yeah. Talked about it before.
Pretty nice.
There's worse places.
There are worse places to go to a rugby tournament. Absolutely. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting. They've moved away from some of the traditional venues, one might say, but I think that's good for the game. And it's a sure sign that Spain and Portugal are on the up in rugby.
Yeah, exactly.
Bravo.
Plus, those are great holiday destinations. So,
oh yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine that weekend in that place? It will just.
I can remember late in my professional career trying to land an off-season gig over in exactly that part of the world. I had a friend playing for Bayonne. It fell through, but I was desperately trying to get myself a 3-month off-season over there because that would have been fantastic.
It would have been.
Sick.
And, I think it's going to be awesome. So, yeah, well done. And I hope the stadium is
Yay.
big enough so that everyone gets the money they need to keep it going.
I like this week's Law of the Week, Candace. Let's do that.
So Bach was on TV a number of weeks ago. It popped up on my feed, and it was about him explaining a video from the Bay of Plenty Wellington game where a player's foot was on the line and then they were tapping the ball back in, and then it got risen because there was players who were watching it, recording it, and being like so confused on why this was allowed, basically. And it was really good. Bach gave a really good explanation around that, which is why we've put it as the Law of the Week. Yeah, as long as it hasn't crossed the plane of touch and also the player wasn't holding the ball, then yeah, you're all good.
There's a couple of critical parts there. Did they take possession of the ball? And if they did, their foot being out would have been a problem, but their foot was out and they didn't take possession. So did it cross the plane of touch? No, it didn't. Play on. The challenging part is marrying all that together, and then if they did actually take possession, choosing whose line-out throw it is becomes a challenge.
Yes.
If it's inside and they take it out, they lose the throw. So yeah, it really is challenging. And as an AR, it makes your positioning really important, and that's actually hard to do, to get to the right spot to see that, because you've got to be reasonably dynamic to get into a spot there and to be on the line, which sometimes is not possible because there's players defending on the line too.
And focus. Your focus is really important as well. So,
and let's face it, some of our ARs, they don't process things as quickly as what we would like, and it takes them a little time to make that decision. Yeah, it'd be great to have a TMO on all of that, but hey, we're not going to get it right all the time. It's an interesting part of our game. It's not like tennis where, it's black and white. You can get a Hawkeye. We can't get Hawkeye on this.
No, absolutely not. Imagine trying to get the tech to set a plane around the ground. That would be very difficult. Oh, the ball's crossed the plane.
Maybe we could do it with
In.
lasers.
Yeah. So the ball goes, another ball.
Yeah.
Not great for ball kids.
New ball.
Cut their hair.
Be really hard for ball kids. Don't cross the touchline. Another one, please.
Such a nice kid. No, well done, Bach. I saw that. It was a great explanation. I actually really like watching the Bay of Plenty team, and that's a beautiful part of the world if anyone gets a chance to go there and watch the Bops.
Yeah, NBC over for another year. Canterbury got the chocolates again. Spoiler alert. That was a couple of weeks ago now, but another good tournament. Always good to watch. It's always free-flowing, up-and-coming athletes, up-and-coming match officials. So, yeah, good fun. So that probably segues into some appointments, doesn't it? Because there's a little bit happening this weekend. My goodness me.
Just a little bit.
It's a feast. It's a festival.
Yeah. If you work on Saturday, just be sick. That's all. Yeah.
So, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, because there's so much on. We've got the Rugby World Cup.
Because the time difference?
Well, but there's also later games, yeah. So I think we've actually got some Monday games. I'll have to check that, but we've certainly got some Monday our time games, I'm pretty sure. We've got the World Cup Final Qualification Tournament in Dubai. So Samoa, Brazil, Belgium, and Namibia. This is men's for 2027. So those first two matches kick off on the weekend, and then they're also on next Thursday, another period next Thursday, then the following Tuesday. So they're trying to jam it in. It's all at the same place, same group of match officials. Geordie Way's in there as the referee for the first one, Spain and Brazil. Brett Cronin is TMO for, every single one of them, all 6 matches. So Brett will be able to tell you.
A couple of cans of Red Bull, Brett. You'll be right.
He'll be able to tell you all about Dubai by the time he gets back because he will have seen all of it. He'll have been to
for sure.
the Whitewater Waddy. He will have been to the Burges, the other Burges, the Creek. Goodness knows what else. The Ferrari World, which is up the road, a bit of desert driving. So it'd be interesting to see how he goes with all that. Yeah, Geordie's on Samoa, Brazil. He's on the flag on a couple of others. So that we'll know come the 18th of November, hopefully without any issues, who the final participant is in the World Cup that is here in less than 2 years.
Who's your money on?
Well, I think the two favourites have got to be Samoa and Namibia. So, yeah, blue versus blue. I think it'll come down to those two. And
I want to see Brazil. I'd love to see the Brazilians get in.
well, the trouble is they've come in late for Paraguay, right? So their preparations against them. Belgium, they're...
Yeah, That's a stretch.
They're not
I think
quite
the Belgians
there.
are a stretch.
Look, I think the Samoans will probably get there, but I don't know much about the Namibian team. So I don't know if they've got a bunch of former Namibians who played in South Africa who've come back, in which case they might actually be quite strong. But then also,
good point.
We're in Reg 9 window, so Samoa may have a very strong team as well. So let's see what happens.
Which is a challenge in itself.
Watch
They won't have played together, but goodness me, the natural talent there you do want. I want Samoa there in practice. I want Samoa at the World Cup.
Yeah, they've got a wonderful history of being at World Cups. So, and they'll get massive support in Australia in 27 if they make it. That will be one of the matches you want to go to.
100%.
The Samoan against anyone match, Fiji against anyone. Great memories from 2003. I think we went and saw Fiji play Scotland, Sunday afternoon game at Moore Park. Packed house. Oh, the vibe. Pearcey, the vibe.
The vibe. Get me in there.
The vibe was awesome. And then the rest of the weekend outside World Cup. So this could take a while. So we start on the Friday night because we need more footy for the English Prem clubs. Bristol Bears are playing Argentina 15. So that's Friday night.
Wow.
Then we go into Saturday. We've got Ireland and Japan in a very strange venue, this one, Dublin. So they're back home.
Nice.
At the Aviva, Scotland and New Zealand at Murrayfield. That'll be a cracking game. Bears has got that one, Nick Berry. Nice, Nick. So go well. And we've got Georgia and USA, and that one is in that well-known rugby venue, Batumi. So I'm guessing that's...
Sorry, you're going to have to come back to me where that is.
Well, I don't think it's in the States, put it that way. And the poor old USA, they're coming off a little bit of a shellacking. So they'll be looking for some upside, and I don't think they're going to get it. They're going to be in another world of hurt.
Georgia, very strong. Yeah, they have all ex-wrestlers and God knows.
Well, they kind of love their rugby and
crazy athletes.
They've got their own sport that's not unlike rugby. So I expect they'll win that well.
It's interesting when we talk about that, though, the population of Georgia, I think America's got 12 cities bigger than the population of Georgia.
Yep, but Georgia's better. My money's on Georgia in that one. Luke Pearce is in the middle for that with Adam Leal, George Selwood and Dan Jones as Teamo. No foul play review because of the level of game. I'm sure that will change in time. Then we move to Twickenham.
The Georgians would be rubbing their hands together with that opportunity.
Oh, absolutely.
No one's watching back play.
Absolutely.
Let's maim someone.
So here's another one. White against white. So who knows who will wear which colours? England, Fiji at Twickenham. I reckon that's going to be a belter as well. Yeah, in the Reg 9 window. So all the Fijians should be, in theory, released. So they'll have their best team there.
I am thinking that it'll
be like last time.
England wearing an alternative strip, which they love. And let's hope they pull out the purple that they play like shit in.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Shout out to Benny Darwin, cohesion with second or third strip. So Paul Williams got that. So I think he's going to have a lot of effort in that game.
Yeah, particularly in some of the Fijian background English players who will be particularly keen on showing their mum and dad back home.
So how's this for a United Nations match official team? I think this is the first one where we've got one from every country. Oh, sorry, no, two countries. We've got Paul Williams, referee, New Zealand. Luke Ramos, France. Katsuki Furuse, Japan. Mike Adamson, I hope I said that correctly, Scotland. And Quinton Immelman from South Africa. So we've got all points of the globe there. So it'd be interesting cohesion to see how they work together.
Have we decided on English as the joint language?
I think secondary signals could be really important. Then we move to Italy, and we have Italy-Australia. Andy Brace, Holly Davidson, who's just been inducted into the Scottish Hall of Fame. So shout out to Holly. It's been a pretty good year, you got to say. Sam Grove-White, Ollie Hodges and Leo Colgan. So we've got a couple of double-ups there, so not 5 countries. Then France and South Africa. Oh, Stade de France. World Cup quarterfinal replay. Massive game. Gussie with Nika Christoph on the flag. So he's exited the TMO box. Tempo and Tempest and Andrew Jackson. So an English skewed MO team there. Then, and we're still going, Romania, Canada in Bucharest.
My goodness.
Yep. Ben Breakspear is on that one. Portugal, Uruguay in Lisbon. I reckon that'd be a pretty good game.
I love Lisbon.
Yeah,
As
I
Bruce's
love Lisbon
location.
too. James Diamond's on that one. Spain against Ireland A in Lagoon, and that's Thomas Bertazzi, who's I would say Uruguayan, with Morgan White from Hong Kong and a couple of local appointments in there. Although the team has Paulo Duarte, who I know from Portugal. Shout out to Paulo. Then we've got England A against the
Hello.
All Blacks, 15. And that's in Bath,
Wow.
local appointment there. So the rec ground at Bath, that should be going off. I reckon that'd be a pretty good game.
That's a beautiful sort of open sort of stadium.
Yeah,
setup.
with the old buildings at the end. That'd be a good vibe too. And then the final game for the weekend, if you're not
You
exhausted,
can do it.
Wales and Argentina at the Principality.
I'm going to enjoy watching that one.
And I think the Argies may win. They may rack up 3 figures.
And this is not going to help our rankings points because we're 7th and they're above us and we haven't helped ourselves. We have to beat Italy and beat them well. Wales, I can't see beating Argentina, but you never know. You can only hope because that will actually help us a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, well, go the Welsh then.
Yeah, go the Welsh.
Everyone pull your leek out.
And my funny little flower hat. Get the boils from the valleys, eh? So Ben O'Keefe's on that with Carl Dixon, Anthony Woodthorpe, Quinton Immelman again, and Eric Gozon.
Again for QI.
So there you
Nice. Well done.
Rob, you probably
Thanks,
need to take a
Rob.
breath. That was a lot.
go. Yeah, it's a festival of the boot, as the boys would
I
say.
switched off about halfway through. I've forgotten who's doing what.
Yeah, you were doing the crossword. I did notice that, Pearcey. You'll be tested on this before we close out. So
On the crossword or on the appointments? Because I do well in the crossword.
well, if you can get Quinton Immelman into a crossword, I'd take my hat off to you.
We can wrap it up there. Thank you all for listening. Yeah, I look forward to hearing any suggestions you guys have for future topics or mini pods. If you haven't listened to our mini pod, we also have a guest
Oh, yeah.
pod, so look forward to that.
I'm looking forward to that.
For those UK listeners, we're going to have a UK guest, so spread the news.
Thank you, Candace. You were bloody wonderful today, Rob. You and me got some learnings there, mate. We'll work on it.
We need to work on our vibe, Pearcey.
Journeying to better.